30 days ago, I felt absolutely exhausted. Low energy. Constant cravings. Sleeping badly. And honestly, food had become something quick, convenient, and mindless. So I decided to try something completely different. For the next 30 days, I ate like the people of Okinawa, one of the longest living communities on Earth. Simple food. Mostly plants. Smaller portions. No calorie obsession. No crazy detoxes. But what actually happened to my body, my mood, and my energy genuinely surprised me. Why Okinawa? Now, if you've never heard of Okinawa, it's a group of islands in Japan famous for something incredible. People there tend to live very long lives. And they often stay active and healthy well into old age. We're talking people gardening in their 90s. Cooking. Walking. Laughing together. And when researchers looked into it, one thing kept coming up again and again: the food. The Okinawan way of eating is beautifully simple. Loads of vegetables. Sweet potatoes. Soy foods. Very little processed stuff. Smaller portions. And this idea called Hara Hachi Bu, which sounds lovely, until you realize how often most of us eat until we're absolutely stuffed. And look, this wasn't about becoming perfect. I just wanted to know one thing. What would happen if I slowed down and ate more intentionally for 30 days? Before starting this experiment, my habits weren't terrible. But they definitely weren't great either. I was relying on convenience food way too often. Big portions. Random snacks. Too much sugar. Too much caffeine. And every afternoon around 3 p.m. I completely crashed. I also noticed I was constantly thinking about food. Not because I was hungry, just stressed, tired, or bored. So this challenge came at exactly the right time. Week 1, the shock. The first big surprise? Breakfast. Instead of cereal or toast, I started the day with miso soup, rice, sweet potato, sometimes a bit of tofu and green tea. And honestly, it felt strange. My brain wanted sugar. Badly. Day 3 struggle. Day 3 was rough. I was craving crisps, chocolate, burgers, basically anything salty or sugary. I actually spent 10 minutes staring at a takeaway app one night. And this is the bit people usually leave out of transformation videos. Changing how you eat messes with your routines, your comfort, your emotions. But then something interesting started happening. The food itself began to feel satisfying in a different way. Garlicky greens. Soft tofu soaking up flavor. Sweet potatoes roasted until caramelized. It wasn't flashy. It was just real food. Week 2, energy shift. By the second week, my energy started changing. Not dramatically. Not like I'd suddenly become some ultra-productive wellness guru. But the crashes disappeared. My energy felt steadier. Calmer. Hara Hachi Bu struggle. The hardest part was definitely eating until 80% full. Because your body doesn't instantly trust that there will be more food later. Especially if you're used to overeating. But after a while, I realized something. I wasn't walking away from meals uncomfortable anymore. Digestion and mood. My digestion improved massively. Less bloating. Better sleep. And weirdly, my mood improved too. I think part of it was the ritual. Slowing down to cook. Sitting properly to eat. Paying attention. Week 3, mental change. Week 3 was where this stopped feeling like a challenge. And started feeling like a lifestyle. I wasn't obsessing over snacks anymore. I stopped thinking about food every hour. Social struggles. Now don't get me wrong, Social situations were still tricky. Watching your mates order burgers while you're eating tofu and greens. That takes commitment. The biggest surprise. But the biggest surprise wasn't the weight loss. It was how clear-headed I felt. Less sluggish. Less foggy. More present. Week 4, the transformation. By week 4, the changes became really noticeable. My clothes fit differently. I woke up easier. My skin looked better. And for the first time in ages, I didn't feel constantly exhausted. Now look, did this magically solve every problem in my life? No. I still had stressful days. I still wanted takeaway sometimes. But I felt more connected to my body than I had in years. Cultural reflection. And I think that's what I learned most from Okinawan culture. This isn't really about dieting. It's about rhythm, simplicity, balance, a reflective moment. The people of Okinawa don't seem obsessed with health in the modern sense. They just build lives around habits that make them feel well. Walking, cooking, eating together, not rushing everything. And honestly, that feels pretty powerful. Final results and verdict. So after 30 days eating like an Okinawan, here's what changed. Weight control. More energy. Much better sleep. Much better mood. But more importantly, I stopped treating food like a quick fix. And started treating it like care. In conclusion, will I keep eating exactly like this forever? Probably not. But there are parts of this lifestyle I genuinely want to keep: smaller portions, more vegetables, slowing down, and actually enjoying what I eat. Turns out the healthiest way of eating on earth isn't really about restriction at all. It's about respect. For food. For balance. And for yourself. If you had to try one food culture for 30 days, what would it be? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, subscribe, because next month, I might be trying another longevity diet.